Hello there. We are playing The Old Tree today. There's a small, blinking red, and I'm prepared to click it. So I shall. The light is now on. Interesting. Curious indeed. It would appear there are some eggs as well. What if I click an egg? It hatches into something. I don't know what this thing is. What about another egg? Do any other eggs hatch? No. Curiously, they do not. But what if I click on our little guy here? Nothing happens. Do I click on the light? How about the door? Indeed, the door has opened. And we crawl through it on this brave adventure. Now, it would appear that we can climb in a vertical manner as well. That is a good thing to know. It's a good thing to note as well. Okay, one more red blinking light. I shall click it. And the room shall light up further. That is 2 lights for the price of 1. 2 lights for the price of fun. Our being has crawled and fell from the roof to the floor, and crawls from the right to the left, and crawls up even more, and crawls as he does. He has a stem, and this stem brings him to the top of the world. There appears to be a bee above him, but dare I click it? Perhaps I shall. Alternatively, there is a little drop of water coming down on a mushroom. And again, there is an evil being guarding the hole in the wall. I'm not sure where I will be able to get from here, but perhaps the bee will tell me the secrets. Tell me, bee. What do you have to say? The bee has nothing to say right now. Perhaps the water drop can tell me where I need to go. And indeed, it has not, though it did fall down right here. I imagine I must make it drop on the bee. And yes, the bee will collect it. Now that the bee, or whatever it may be, as they say, yes, indeed, is carrying a drop of water, it would appear that we must have him drop it on us. But that is not correct. Perhaps I need to have him... That was incorrect as well. I don't know why I clicked it again there. Come back, bee. Take my water. I demand that you collect my water drop. Now you must drop it on me, and that did nothing. Very interesting, bee. Very curious. I'm piecing together the pieces, though. There is some area where you stop, where you will drop this water. There is no other way. I imagine it is over here. Wadoosh, drop water? No, that is not the answer. Tell me, evil being with one green eye, where must I go? It is not clear at this moment, but that is okay. Let us take a look around here. Maybe I must click on the bee instead of the water that the bee is carrying. Only time itself will tell, my friend. That is the incorrect place to drop the water again. Unfortunate to be sure. Is there any secret where the water must go? Do I click on myself? Do I click on the mushrooms where the mushrooms must grow? How about right there? No? Interesting. I'm clicking everywhere at this point. Okay, so the bee carries the water. That's what we've got so far, right? But where does he carry the water to? Huh. Here. Nothing there. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. Is there a hint about what might need water? I thought it might be this little break in the plant there, but no, it is nay. Curious indeed. Very curious at that. I don't drop it on my head. I tried that. Is that correct? Very interesting, bee. You hold many secrets of this land, and I would like to know these secrets. These secrets tell me stories from many, many moons, bee. Right here. Excellent, excellent indeedio, my friend, and we have opened the wall. Join me, bee. No, you don't have to stay outside, bee. No, the bee is gone. Into a new room we go, and we crawl across the way. There is a desk that we crawl past, and there is a light up top as well. I believe I can flick the light off, and I can flick it back on. And that is what I shall do. I see the being on the desk turns the light on and off. You can see his arm move just as he turns it on. Interesting, so he automatically turns it back on when I turn it off. What is this thing? A ding! The thing is a ding! Imagine that. What does the plant do? It reveals a secret. And the secret makes a sound. And the plant will recover the secret in due time. And there it goes. The other part of the plant does not reveal a secret. How about the light at top? Do any of these bulbs reveal anything secret? Perhaps I can do this, and then light off 4. Interesting. Okay. And then light off 4. There it is. I'm calling in whatever it may be. It is now at 3. But what does the 3 mean? I suppose we will find out when the light goes off again. And indeed it has. Which is good. And one more section. We can go from 2 down to 1. And the elevator can pick us up. Excellent. The door has opened. And into the light we crawl. It is a curious adventure so far. And another puzzle is at our disposal. There is a little black dot up here. And it does nothing. Just a design. I just had to check. There appears to be an L of red and 6 white dots. I'm unsure the order to press them in. I imagine that is what I must find out. I've made that L. Can I do anything with the red dots? No? Fair enough. How about this way? No. How about this way? There it is. The correct L has been made. I don't know how I did it, but I did, and that is fine. It would appear we have made it to the top of wherever it is that we were going, which is good. Maybe. Or maybe another puzzle has opened itself, and indeed it has. I've opened my way to the top of the elevator, and I climb the elevator cavity. As I tend to like to do, I can climb walls, and so why not climb them? It seems logical. There is a bee in here. Good. Oh, it's a firefly. How do you do today, firefly? It is good to see you. And it must be good to be you. You bring light to where it was once dark. That is a very appreciable talent to have. When I click you, you fly, firefly. When I click the vent, I see a vent. It brings about an event. I imagine I can twist off the screws one at a time. And then the vent will fall, and me and my firefly buddy can go through. Or maybe the firefly can light up the path. Perhaps that is the case, and indeed it is. I now understand where I must go, firefly buddy. Thank you for guiding me. It means a lot to me that you've stayed with me for this long. And indeed the hallway is lit by the light of the firefly, and the firefly's fireflight shall now be left in the past. There's a little bit of electricity going on here, and 2 red switches. They are now green. When I click the firefly, nothing happens. Perhaps I need to click on the electricity. Something is happening here. Do I need to move forward? Oh! A 3rd switch. Very curious. All the switches are now green. And indeed, we can move on. There's something fanning in the background. I don't know what it is, and I don't know what it does, but I respect that it likes to be the fan that it likes to be. That is a good thing for the fan to do. After all, it leads the life of a fan. And it leads the good life of a fan. Here we see the fan, and the shadow from the light above the fan. Very interesting. I do wonder what happens when I click on the fan. Not so much. But what happens when I click on the light? Not so much as well. What about this broken part of the wall? It wiggles, and it falls, and it breaks the fan, allowing me to pass through safely. That is quite remarkable talent that the wall would have. But I do respect it, there is no other way. Do I fall here? I do not. I simply continue to crawl along the wall, and along the roof. A chef makes a soup in the kitchen today. It is a good thing to see, as people need to eat. He has a very good job to do, and he does it well. That is the chef in a nutshell. I believe he has cooked with nuts before as well. Yes, indeed. He has cracked them out of their shells even. When I press this button, a turkey leg or a ham comes from the top. It goes across the line, and a red bee steals it. That bee is a thief, but it is okay. He has his own bee family to feed. It would appear I must close the window before I call in another ham again. But how I do that, it is difficult to say. Perhaps I must turn the light off. That is not the case. Perhaps I can close the window. That is also not the case. Perhaps it has to do with the door, but it is also not the case. Perhaps where the wall is broken. But no, that is not the case. Perhaps the chef and his stirry pot stirrer, but it is not the case. Perhaps the oven, but it is not the case. I understand what I need to do. I call in the food, and when the bee comes in, I close the window behind it. And we shall be in a funny situation. Oh! I click the bee, and the bee falls. And the bee is never to return, for the bee is red. And we read into the situation as one and as another. Let us call in another piece of food. A carrot this time. Well, I do not care at all about that piece of food now, do I? That being said, of course I do. It is an essential vegetable, one of the few vegetables that are sweet. It is what I like to see, and now, of course, my friend, you can't have a soup, you can't have a stew, and you can't have chili without the sausage. The sausage adds flavor, it adds spice, it adds a kick, and it adds a much-needed saltiness. And now that the stew is completed, the chef walks the stew over to the door, and I can safely crawl in. The steam will not hit me, and the chef will not see me. I crawl across the floor, and I crawl toward the door. It is the nature of my progression here. This is the nature of my life. The things that I must accomplish are the things that I am accomplishing. As a being that once hatched from an egg, this is what I must do. This is what I am destined to do. And we shall look back on these events and say that this is what I have done, and I am proud to have done it. Can I turn off the light in this room? I cannot. The light bulb emanating above my head does not have a switch that is available to me. But can I open the curtain? Indeed I can, and within the closet there is a rake. Perhaps I might need to rake something at some point or another. Also within the closet is another tool that I cannot quite make out. There is a triangle on the top of it. If you do know the name of that tool, then please leave a comment. I would love to find out. The third tool is indeed a broom. And as the broom falls, I vroom through the closet and into another mysterious part of this big, beautiful adventure. Let us see what happens when we get outside once more. There appears to be some sort of root or stick right here, and some sort of hallway that I can walk forward into. There's a small manhole covering, I don't know the name of it, probably different depending on where you are from, but if I click it, it opens. and all the water drains, allowing me to walk inside. So I shall open up the door, and in I walk, in I crawl, and in the adventure continues. Must I go down? Must I recover it? I have recovered my state of mind. Must I go down? Must I not? These are the options I have at my disposal. Must I close this? And now must I go down? No? Must I not? Curious indeed. Perhaps the there is a wheel up here. I believe that is what I need to click, but first, I will close these doors, just to make sure that what I think might happen doesn't. And indeed, it hasn't, which is good. How about now? No. Another door. Very interesting. I understand. These two doors on the bottom are closed. This wheel will let the water in, and I shall float to the top, where I can then escape through the door at the top. I hit the wheel, and nothing happens. Very interesting. Very curious indeed. How do I get to the top, I wonder? Well, I have looked around and I do not see anything that is of further assistance. I do not see anything of the like, so perhaps... I see. It turns a little bit and then back. Do I drag? Drag this way. Nope. Drag up. No. Drag to the left. No. Double click. Do I just keep clicking it then? That is not the answer. Right click. No. So there is some sort of way to turn on the water. There must be. Wait. No. All of the doors had to be closed. And now that I'm at the roof, now I can drain, and I can go through the door at the top. Excellent. An excellent use of the tools at hand, little guy. And after all, you are a little guide as we move through this land. The tree we are within is old, but that does not mean it holds many secrets. And it also does not mean that it doesn't. The secrets that it does hold, we shall find them. We shall figure out what this tree has to offer. It has lived a bold and beautiful life, and I'm sure it has many stories to tell. Breaking through the spider web, we continue to crawl. The mushroom is lit up. It is glow in the dark, if you will, as a mushroom might be. There is some red over here. Very curious. The only red thing so far has been the thief bee. Some eyes as well. We're in a dangerous part of town, little creature. Perhaps I can click around, though, and see what we must do. I have plugged this in. And... I am blowing it up. It has exploded. And it has scared away the evil large critter that stands within our way. Things appear to be progressing quite nicely at the moment. And out into the world our adventure takes us. There is one leaf ahead of us, little guy. And there are many stars and planets out there as well. Climb the leaf. The leaf can sprout. And the leaf can turn into a flower. The leaf can fly away, as a flower might do. And into the world we go. My name is Arcane Acorn. That game was surprisingly beautiful. It was short, it was sweet, but something about the art style and the way all the sounds came together, it was very nice. It was very nice to have experienced that. I'm very happy. The Old Tree. Very nice game. Free on Steam, by the way. Just gonna throw that out there. I think it's worth playing, okay? If you have Steam, it's worth playing.